want to begin with our wonderful intro?
Yeah. Welcome to the second leg of the 2022 Con10ent Tour, where we finally touched down in Houston, Texas. But in all seriousness, we are about to take flight. Yet another epic family reunion awaits us as Dark Matters, boasting local flatballers AJ Beard, Andrew Steven, Ira Anderson III, and Kendrick Harris, looks to even out this year's tour rivalry. Hoping to improve upon their 1-0 record, Lights Out will showcase regional talents Colton Green, Joseph Williams, Winston Phillips, Daryl Wells, Samuel Morrill, and Justin Thompson. As is our custom, although admission is free for all Black patrons, all others are encouraged to pay what they can in order to support both future tour stops and the local communities that enable them.
It's wonderful to have this game here in Houston, home of the Rockets, NASA, the Queen Bey, and the greatest gymnast of all time, the wonderful Simone Biles. In 2021, Houston became the most ethnically diverse metropolitan area in the nation, and believe me, you can tell. Tonight's stage at Rice University is the alma mater of tour stalwart and matriarch AJ Beard. Thank you for inviting us into your homes, families, hearts, and pantries. I myself am Lucky Masola, a longtime Houston native and a guest commentator for today, and with me is...
This is Choopsie Lemma from Atlanta, Georgia, part of the tour, all of the tour stops so far. Happy to be out here in Houston, Texas. We're going to give a big thank you to Breakmark for the player kits. This year's Con10ent jersey design features the skyline of each of our tour stops host city. Be sure to use the links found in the live stream description to #TreatYourself. Shout out also to VC Ultimate, B Ultimate, and 5 Ultimate for partnering to pull of the Disc.Diversity's Buy One, Gift One apparel fundraiser. That's right, for each jersey purchased in support of DD, one of 4 local DC rec centers will bank a free jersey for the youth. Last but not least, thanks to an outwardly less visible... This isn't live. Oh, this isn't live, so this is great. Last but not least, thanks to an outwardly less visible but equally integral sponsor, Tokay Cleats.
Now, in every city, the tour participants have been welcomed into the homes and hearts of local strangers, soon turned family. We're also screaming thank you to the Houston Ultimate Community, HUC, from coordinating airport pickups, housing players, donating airline miles, designing player profiles, and camera operation. Every ounce of this weekend is being upheld by their shoulders. And makes me feel a little bit bad for all I'm doing is commentating. But anyways, what can I say? So, the game has already started a little bit, so we're just, I guess, going to hop right in and follow how things are going. We have Dark Matters in black and Lights Out in white. And hopefully an interesting game coming right for us.
AHB, who just scored? Lights scored.
Lights Out scored.
Sweet. Lights Out just scored. Colton Green with the catch. I believe it's 1-0. Lights Out.
All right. Lights Out is preparing to pull.
We got Nate Little on the pole. It is windy.
That it is. Those gusts have been picking up for the last half hour or so. Let's see how it goes. It's a good pull, starting from the end zone.
Center to AJ Beard, who we are fortunate enough to have hosting us while we are here in Houston.
With pressure on the foreside, she centers the disc back. Oh, I do have to say that for myself personally, it is great to have an opportunity like this. In terms of my own career, I played in college. I had the fortune to play with the South African national team as I'm a dual citizen, and then I played in the AUDL for a couple years. And throughout the vast majority of that time, I was either the only or one of a couple black players. So having the opportunity to see a community of black players like this all together is something I very much wish I'd been able to have earlier in my career, and as I'm glad that other people get to have as well. Oh, we have Dark Matters with a huck.
Beard. A goal is caught.
It's a wonderful catch by Ish. Run down to the end zone. That brings it to 1-1. Dark Matters with the score.
AJ.
Well, we have Dark Matters pulling to Lights Out. You can see Lights Out discussing a little bit of strategy on the line. Maybe a trick play potentially, but we can only hope.
And right now on for Dark, we have the creator of this tour, Shani Crawford, back out on the field. She took a break for DC to take on a lot of logistics work, but she has made an appearance back out in Houston.
We have Lights Out progressing up the field, stuck a little bit on the four-side line right now. A throw right up the line. There's an available dump, but looking for an opportunity. Ooh, a fantastic D by a Dark Matter player. Contested catch. A great D by number 74. I am not as familiar with player names, so I think I might default to numbers while I'm less familiar, but 74 is Justin Thompson. Very well contested D, and now Lights Out has the disc, which was promptly...
the disc just slipped out of Saw's hands, unfortunately. The disc is back with Dark Matters.
All right. They seem to be playing with a vertical stack right now, cutting from the back. A wonderful swing across the field. No cuts as of yet. Another break side cut.
Good, Shani.
Throw to the end zone. Open player.
And our creator, Shani Crawford, with the assist.
And a fantastic catch in the end zone under pressure. And a well-deserved celebration afterwards.
Yeah. 2-1, Dark Matters.
It is nice to see the amount of support and viewers we have on the sidelines. This being the first year of this tour, it's nice to see that there's people who want to be inclusive and take the opportunity to see something like this, which, as far as I'm aware, isn't something I've heard about even happening before.
Yeah. I mean, this Con10ent Tour has brought something really different into the world of Ultimate. Our first stop was back in September in Philly, and the community within the Con10ent world has just grown and grown. #BUN, Black Ultimate Network.
All right, so we have Dark Matters with the disc ready to pull again. Play so far seems to have been pretty straightforward. Normal lines and setups.
Seth Abdullah with the pull. Look at that. Colton Green centering to HB.
Gaining a few quick yards off the reception. Trying to get themselves out of the end zone.
AD with a easy undercut.
Oof. Difficult catch, unfortunately, flies out of bounds. Dark Matter on the sideline. Ish with the disc, looking to break or maybe move upfield. Ooh, a nice catch right on the line. Ooh, a fantastic
AD,
defensive play.
Yep.
Fast-moving offense. And a fantastic catch.
With an easy grab in the end
Coast
zone.
to coast, got the D and scored the point.
There we go.
Always
That's
a great
bookends.
feeling. Oh, yes. Oh, man, that is bookends. Ooh, forgetting my nomenclature. It's been too long. So that ties it up at 2-2. Lights Out with that wonderful play to even it up. I see we've got some supportive posters on the far sideline.
Yeah.
We're trying to show messages of support for players on the field.
So, Lucky, is there anyone here that you were just really looking forward to watching play today?
So certainly legendary Opie Payne, who seems to be coming in for a little bit of play, who I've heard about for many years at this point. And even though I've had the opportunity to travel to a lot of different Ultimate events and areas, this is my first time actually ever getting to see her in person. So that's probably the biggest, but also a lot of new faces to me and people that are from the area. So honestly, I'm very much looking forward to seeing people that were in the local Houston area, but that I never got the chance to see before.
Yeah. Ooh, flick pull. And that is coasting. Shani. Sasha with the disc.
There's a good mark on the disc right now, looking for an upfield throw. Contested catch, well done.
Maple with a great grab.
The throw there, ooh.
Turnover for Light. Her disc is with Light.
Fantastic D by Justin Thompson there. Seems to be a bit of a discussion over a pick, I believe.
Yeah, looks like it.
We have Joe on the disc, someone who I've had the privilege of playing with before. A very solid and dependable handler. Always nice to have one of those on your team.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Wow.
a layout catch D. Fantastic to see.
It's by Jalen. Maple picking it up and
have a long
sending it to Jay. Can't be guarded.
Ooh, hard contact on the attempt to get the disc. Well, we have a friendly attempt to pick each other up.
Yeah.
Ultimate always being a sport for supportive play and ethical competition.
Yeah. Looks like it is a foul, no contest, so the disc will stay with Jordan. Real close to the end zone. Dark's about to try to score in.
Hopefully players will be sprinting up to support. He's well ahead of the rest of the field right now. I think he has a vision.
Cross field to Shani with the goal.
Just inside the lines. Fantastic. Well, that's another well done one by Dark Matters, bringing the score to 3-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Well, I certainly have to say, as being one of my first chances being part of the production, I am very impressed by the ability for them to set up here at Rice University, which I've been coming by this area throughout my entire life, effectively. My mother graduated from here when I was a kid, and I did never see this kind of setup or production for any kind of event here. So it's wonderful to see all the tech and video we have on hand.
Yeah. Shout out to Dougal for helping us out with all of this tech that we got here. Got the whole camera set up, the mics, the whole nine.
Looks like we have a little bit of discussion amongst Dark Matter before the pull. Getting ready for the point. Wind is certainly becoming and remaining a factor in the game. So it seems to be blowing from west to east at the moment.
The pole's up from Dark. And it is
Out of bounds, so they get to take it to the brick mark, giving them a good field position to begin the game, or point with, I should say. We have...
looks like a horizontal stack for lights out.
Absolutely.
That's a first.
Often what teams I've played with would resort to in windier conditions.
Yeah.
And for this point, they are going into the wind, so, and very much an understandable strategic decision. Ooh, we have a long throw downfield, all the way to the end zone, contested.
Oh, so close, but Nate Little gets that under and immediately sends it deep to Opie.
Much credit to the assist. That was a long and level throw into the wind. Caught well in the end zone. So we'll see. Wow. Good play all around. Not too high in terms of the turnovers. Seen a lot of good long throws. Caught under pressure. Exciting to see.
Yeah.
High skill level.
Everyone is trusting their teammates and allowing them to make the plays that we know they have.
Also, it is nice to see that the teams do have a good few subs. I know it's all too common an experience in Ultimate Frisbee to be playing with limited to none.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get to be able to see the best of their play while given that they're rested and opportunities to refresh and get back on the field.
Yeah. Something that's a little bit different about this game compared to others is we are playing with 6 on the field rather than 7. Unfortunately, we were not able to field as many women for this round. So in order to allow women to get the most amount of space that they can on the field, we went 4-2 rather than 5-2.
All right, lights out preparing with the pull in just one moment. We'll see what Dark Matters has in store.
Nate Little with the pull. Ooh, too strong. Nate Little goes out the back.
Got a cannon of an arm there, straight out of the back. Another advantageous start from the brick mark. Dark Matters is starting up in a vertical formation, so not utilizing the same strategy as Lights Out just were.
The wind is
Another tight
picking up.
mark. Ooh, a cut through the stack to the far side. And a throw to the end zone.
A dime ball from Seth Abdullah to Maple in the end zone.
Another wonderful throw and catch to the end zone from behind the halfway part of the field. Consistent quality. I guess now the challenge is on the defenders. They know the quality throws will be there. Gotta stay tight to your mark.
Yeah. Seth Abdullah with just great throws all around. Really great, especially in this mixed game, knowing how to throw to both women matching and men matching players.
Yes, that certainly is one of the things that I think separates Ultimate on the whole, is the inclusion of mixed gender games and adding a whole new dynamic to the sport that others almost completely lack
Right.
in element. And the opportunity to have played that in that format on and off throughout the years certainly, I think, contributed to me being a better player and just having a more fun and, I don't know, interesting experience.
Right.
It adds a whole new facet to the world of sports, especially compared to other sports like soccer, which I played growing up.
Right. I've definitely had my share of playing both women's and mixed Ultimate, and there's definitely a special place in my heart for mixed. All right, we got a pull coming from Dark Matters.
A nice one from Ish, gets picked up pretty much at the front of the end zone.
Sam with the disc.
Throw to the far side.
We got Justin Thompson, I believe, number 74,
Yes,
with an
he's
under.
made a couple of great throws already this game.
It's up.
Another long throw. Oh, we've got a tall man in the end zone. Oh. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Great attempt, however. Dark Matters getting into offense quickly. A couple cutters coming in. Ooh, hand block. I don't know if there's any call on that. No. Great job on that, forcing the turnover with Lights Out in a very advantageous position. Got cuts across the sides of the end zone, but no luck, unfortunately. Dark Matters with the disc, which they'll bring up to the front corner of the end zone and begin their offense from there.
Up line to Shani.
Ooh, great
Caught
field
by
position
30,
for a throw to
Jalen.
the end zone. Oh, bit too much of a laser there.
A little miscue has Light Matters with the disc in the front of their end zone.
Got a little bit of end zone to end zone play here. These can be the kinds of points that can wear people out, going from one side to the other. In cut on the force side. Caught by Justin Thompson, where it probably flies out of his hand due to the slippage and the wind, I suppose. Unfortunate for Lights Out, as that puts Dark Matters right in front of the end zone for a potential score. Ish with the disc to start, and a break throw to follow. The layout dive was not enough to reach the disc, unfortunately.
Looks like there was a foul called on the throw. This goes back to Ish.
Giving themselves another chance, another crack at the point. Now this certainly does seem to be a cutting from the front of the stack setup, which is often ideal and works to wonderful effect. Ish with a great inside break on the forehand side. A difficult throw to stop if you're not expecting it.
And a shaky cut from Jay Lynn to get free in the front corner.
Sure, there's a little bit of disappointment in terms of how that point turned out at the end, but nonetheless, good play all around and fair play. Obviously, no one has seemed to be arguing or getting into any trouble in terms of calls and figuring out how they can work together to sort what should happen and let the game continue.
Yeah,
Let the focus be on the gameplay itself.
Yeah, that's been one of the greatest things I think about all the Con10ent games so far, is how easy discussion has seemed to be at all the games we've had on this tour. Definitely have not experienced this much ease in conversations that I've had previous positions in Ultimate. So it's been really great to see all of these players coming together and really respecting each other.
No, absolutely, one of my favorite parts of the Ultimate community in general. We have a pull from Dark Matters, who are currently 4-3 up. Hoping
Sasha puts the disc in a great spot with that pull. Oh, Colton releases it.
Ooh,
a little too out of reach.
Slightly blady.
Well, score is to be determined. Cynthia with an under. Moving it. She's moving it, Cynthia.
Got a couple nice fakes in there. Probably should look for a dump, but we'll see what decision he chooses to make with the disc. Makes the right call. Nice quick movement of the disc. Nice throw through the middle.
Getting it.
Oh.
And a nice goal there for Dark Matters.
Beautiful play there. Slick, quick passing that led to a point right in the corner of the end zone. So difficult to stop as a defender when the disc is moving continuously like that. No chance to set yourself or really get ready. I believe we have a field invader. I'm sure security will take care of them rapidly.
All right, looks like Daryl Wells just got the score.
I have had the opportunity to play with him before, and he has a mighty scary vertical jump. So that is always a fun player to see contesting any point or any catch.
All right, looks like a Lights Out called a timeout.
Oh, feeling the pressure a little bit.
Yeah.
Dark Matters has had a good run of well-played points, managing to get the break, which is always the goal, and a very rewarding feeling for the defense. So well done to Dark Matters. Let's see if they can continue that pattern going forward.
Kiki, you're the scorekeeper. I'm looking it up.
Now, for those unfamiliar with Houston on the whole, We go by Bayou City with a good reason. It is humid and swampy out here most of the time. Fortunately, that slight bit of wind is offering a breeze, which is preferable to the usual oppressive heat that starts even earlier in the year than April itself.
Yeah, earlier when we were sitting out here while the teams were warming up, I was sitting in the shade and I was sweating while just sitting in the shade. This Texas heat is something different.
Absolutely. I know one of the shockers that I like to tell the people that aren't from the area is that you'll walk out well after dark and break into a sweat immediately because the humidity refuses to let that heat dissipate in any way.
Yeah, the air is thick down here. Something different.
I don't know if there's a term for the opposite of altitude training, but that's pretty much what you're going to be getting.
I think Dark's up. Oh, hi.
Okay. So are we just going to decide, Dougal, that it is 4-3? Like we're just going to state it is 4-3 starting now? I think we should 4-3. Dark currently.
Well, all right. Dark taking the advantage and to play the next point. Now, I believe it was Dark Matter or Lights Out who played the horizontal stack.
It was Lights Out that played that horizontal stack, scored off after the very first cut.
Absolutely. So this is exactly the same scenario, receiving the disc into the wind, so maybe they'll break out that strategy again.
Dark. Yeah.
Nice work, Frankie. Way to cheer.
All right. So apparently the score is 5-2 Dark. That's what the players are saying. That's what the light player said. So I don't know why they would want to lie about that. Yep. Okay. We are at 5-2 Dark. I'm going to try to keep score starting now.
So for those listening that have not had too much familiarity with Ultimate, not being sure of and arguing over the score is a incredibly common occurrence. And so this is pretty much par for the course with what many of us have and will experience.
Oh.
Lights Out starting with a quick throw out of the end zone.
Doesn't look like they're in that horizontal stack
No,
like they were
using
last
a vertical
time.
stack, dishing to the break side.
Saw catching it close to the end zone. Looks like it was just out of bounds.
Just out
It's
of
a
bounds.
turnover. Disc is now in the hands of Dark. Oof.
Just over the head of the receiver, giving Lights Out another chance. Let's see what they can do with it.
Light moving quickly to get to that disc.
Ooh, a great defensive play, knocking it out right before it could reach the receiver.
All right, the disc is now back with Dark.
That was Samir Baker who was just denied the opportunity to make the catch. Inside break, got to throw right at the front of the line and into the end zone. Dark Matters is running away with it at the moment. Break
Jay
after
can't
break.
be guarded with the celebration. There we go.
Few things better feeling than a run of breaks, and conversely, few things more demoralizing for the offense. So hopefully Lights Out can recover and take this opportunity to bring the game close.
Well, we just got started here. Come on.
True, let me not discount anybody too early. Of course, well known across many sports is the Casser curse. So any prediction I might even try to make will probably end up biting me terribly.
Lights Out is on the line, looking like they mean business.
Also, I realize we gave credit to Breakmark earlier, but I really have to say I love the design of these kits. It looks absolutely fantastic.
I think my favorite part is the skyline on each jersey changes in each city we go to. So they look mostly the same with just that really subtle difference from city to city.
That is a fantastic touch.
Yeah.
And I suppose with that change in jersey, it means that all the players here get to keep these jerseys
Yeah,
as,
Maple.
I guess, a memory of this.
Yeah.
And that is always wonderful to add to that jersey collection.
Sasha with another big pull, caught by Opie. Center to HB.
Ooh. Throwing it to Joe, quickly gaining field position with an opportunity for a deep throw.
Nate releasing
Very
it
smooth
again.
play.
Wow, run down.
Oh, but it's out of the back of the end zone. A fantastic throw and catch, but just a little too much on it.
Nate Little, too strong once again.
I think that might be one of the consequences of this slightly smaller field, is that some of our bigger, stronger throwers might accidentally throw it up the back, assuming they have more space. But they've been managing all right so far. Let's see how it goes from here. Dark Matter's just a little bit in front of their end zone. Got a break throw, trying to move the disc outside of pressure.
A little out of reach for AJ Beard. The disc is back with light. HB picking it up. Center to Opie.
Throwing it right back. Ooh,
Nate with a great
fantastic
catch.
reaching catch on the sideline.
Got you.
Got a blade across the end zone. Caught fantastically. All right, a good play, a good series of plays from Lights Out.
There we go. Back on the board. We're at 6-3 Dark. So hopefully here, Light will be able to start on defense and then get a break to score.
Now it's easy to assume that many people watching are familiar with Ultimate. For those that aren't though, we've mentioned the vertical stack and the horizontal stack. And really that gets to the core of how roles in Ultimate are split up. And generally there's a couple of players that stay back that serve as handlers who primarily catch the disc and receive it when someone upfield doesn't have any alternative, almost equivalent to a sort of quarterback-like position. And then the rest of the field is composed of cutters who operate much more as like wide receivers and who sprint to get into open space and try and progress downfield, both cutting in towards handlers and what are called undercuts, and going deep or going long to what are called deep cuts, try and score quickly. And of course those ultimately also lead to a lot of epic plays, layouts, people catching the disc over each other. For those of you that aren't familiar, that's where Ultimate Frisbee can get some of its most exciting and impressive highlights.
And also there have been a couple times within the game where you all have probably seen some stoppage, people talking. Ultimate is very unique in the sense that we have self-officiation. So you notice that there aren't any refs on this field. All of the calls that happen on the field are up to the players right now. So anything that happens, a player can call whatever they believe happened. There's a discussion and an opportunity for both players to get their piece in and come to somewhat of an agreement on what happened.
We have Lights Out with another opportunity in the advanced half of the field. Great catch on the swing there, keeping the disc alive. Good catch to the fourth side. They have a good opportunity for the score. Fantastic. That's a break point. That's 2 in a row for Lights Out. Bringing it back, that brings the game to 6-4.
There we go. Speaking it into existence, a break for Light.
Yeah, Maple!
Now, just as Choopsy was saying, that whole aspect of self-officiation and other aspects of Frisbee is defined under the umbrella term of spirit of the game, which is something that I think other sports are not even close to for the most part in the meeting, and that is this idea of everybody believes in fair play enough that they will be honest and not attempt to be cynical or cheat or antagonistic towards other players, and it allows for a sense of community and, quite frankly, better sportsmanship that you often don't see in other sports, in which the zero-sum push to win supersedes all other aspects of civility far too often.
Yeah, I think spirit of the game, in theory, is a really great piece of this sport. However, as I was kind of mentioning earlier, with the way that calls are happening here compared to the way they have happened and experiences I've had, and I know a lot of these players have had, it really falls onto the players to be respectful and kind and understanding. So as much as we would love to always see that kind of fair play, level-minded aspect of it, it really just comes down to who happens to be making that call.
Absolutely.
The score is 6-4 Dark.
6-4 Dark.
We have Dark Matters starting from the brick mark with the disc. Ish with the pickup, getting ready to begin. He has another handler set up behind him in case he's not able to make an upfield throw, but he gets one off quite easily.
Seems like a bit of a pull play from Dark.
Ooh, a nice
Light.
defensive play from Joe. Lots of pressure there.
So now Light has another opportunity to score here and break again. Disc immediately centered to OB. Over to Nate Little.
We have a throw to the end zone.
Nate with a big old
Oh!
And that is number 12. Name loading.
A fantastic undercut defensive play to knock it out of the field before it could get to the receiver. Dark Matters with the disc at the front corner of their own end zone. Ooh, we just had a scuba pass, often considered a bit risky, but it pulled it off quite well right then. And a nice attempted layout D was not able to get the disc. And now we have a long throw, but there's some height there.
Timeout called. Timeout called by Light.
A good call. They have a swing of momentum going right now. A good thing to take advantage of. And also a good opportunity to take a break and a rest before the game continues on. Now I do have to say much respect to all the players for their willingness to dive and lay out. The condition of these fields, while all right, is not the greatest they've been in terms of all the time that I've spent here. And laying out on a hard surface is certainly a bit of a rough experience that I can definitely attest to myself.
For sure.
So it's nice to see that commitment from everybody involved.
Yeah.
You know, all credit to Rice University for allowing us to use these facilities.
Yeah.
They are quite nice and spacious, and allows us to accommodate not just the play, but as many viewers as are willing to come.
Yeah. And again, shout out to AJ Beard for helping us Disc.Diversity with a lot of the stuff that's going on here.
So we've got Dark Matters engaged in a bit of a discussion deciding how they'll handle this defensive set that they're going to be dealing with, while Lights Out seems to be already ready. Setting up in a vertical stack, two handlers back, ready to begin their offensive play.
Light is really going to want to score here just to make sure that they keep the difference in this game as little as possible.
Now, it should be reiterated that this game is to 15.
13.
13. Which means that halftime will be whatever team reaches 7 points first. So if Dark Matters scores here, that brings it to halftime.
Unfortunately, there was a bit of a miscue for Light there. And it looks like
Dark takes the half with a nice little quick throw into the corner of the end zone to finish it off. That's a good forced pressure by Dark Matters, who are taking a bit of a lead in this game. But as I'm sure Choopsy can attest to, halftime can lead to wild shifts in the game dynamic. I've seen a great many incredible comeback in the second half.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we are not taking a half. Potentially, that means we are playing to 15. Are we playing to 15? Oh, okay. Because that should be half if it's game to 13. More water if possible.
Apologies for that mistake. It is not halftime yet. Dark Matters is going to be pulling off with the disc. Their 3-point lead being going to be challenged by Lights Out on offense.
Man, I just took a seat. Now I gotta stand back up. It's hard out here.
So far, so good. Fortunately, got some impressive play to provide background for whenever we're falling a little bit short.
Honestly, shout out to all the people out there who do commentary, because this is hard. In general, I usually am like, I don't have that much to talk about, but like Lucky said, these players are giving us a lot to fill the space with.
No, absolutely. And as a longtime enjoyer of sports and sports commentary in general, and this is definitely reinforcing how difficult it is for them to just never have a moment of dead air.
Yeah.
Someone always saying something, and that's getting an idea of how much of a challenge that is to pull off.
For sure.
So lights out, moving up the field with the disc. Some quick throws between the handlers. Ooh, oh, a drop on a difficult throw. Seems to be a call on the field.
So I was mistaken earlier. We are playing a game to 15, which is why we did not take more points.
So that means that whichever team reaches 8 first will trigger halftime. Ooh, lights out with a throw up the field that gets stopped by the defense, number 97. Ooh, got a bit of a bladey throw into the end zone. Defense incoming, but a fantastic catch. And that will trigger halftime from Dark Matters, who are showing a fair amount of great play, good throws into the end zone, and especially some pressure defense that's allowing them to take advantage.
Daryl Wells with another
Now, in addition to the game total being played to is 15, it is going to be a win by 2 if necessary format. So that means that if someone reaches 15 and the game scores are within a point of each other, the game continues until one of the teams has a 2-point lead to end the game. This is gives more of an opportunity in close games to not favor one team too much in case they got the disc to begin the half with or something like that, because that would give an inherent advantage to whoever started with it. So this way it effectively forces someone to make a break to win the game.
As you all know, we are currently in the state of Texas. Specifically, we are out here in Houston. However, as this is a game for the people, it would be remiss for us not to mention kind of all of the ways that Texas is holding down people currently. So I hope that you all have heard and know about the governor of this state, Greg Abbott, and all of the quite ridiculous things that he has done. One of the most recent things is putting into state law that delivering gender-affirming medical treatments to transgender youth constitutes child abuse, which is really, really unfortunate to see.
Especially in an arena like Ultimate Frisbee, which strives for diversity and inclusivity. I mean, this might seem a political aspect, but really it's more of an ethical and community-based one, and in many ways goes against what Ultimate Frisbee tries to foster. And so it is disappointing to see that. And certainly as a longtime Houstonian and Texan myself, it has certainly been something of a frustration to see almost a regression in these aspects. But it's moments like this that I remember Houston is a bit of an island in an otherwise sometimes crazy state, and emphasized by its incredible diversity as attested to by the players and viewers here today.
Yeah. So viewers, we urge you, please find ways to support transgender youth, especially within the state of Texas. Find places that you can donate, and speak up. These are really important issues that are harming many, many people. And not saying anything is kind of the worst thing. Currently,
Now-
a big happy birthday going out to our very own Nate Little.
Number 80 from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I know he's been an instrumental part of this whole Con10ent Tour.
Sure.
And so more than happy and more than well deserved to get a moment of appreciation from everyone here. So I guess as a former player myself, for anyone that's not aware, Frisbee has progressed to the point there is a professional league called the AUDL, stands for the American Ultimate Disc League. And there are teams spread out across the country. Team in Texas, based in Austin, as well as one in Dallas. The play is very much an incredibly high level, and it's also the first level that's introduced refereeing at a more strict level. So pretty much every aspect of Frisbee has been self-officiated, but with the graduation into money and other concerns, that little bit more, but it is very much still an aspect. Spirit of the game is still a big deal, and self-calls and admitting faults when you have made a play are absolutely kinds of things that are expected. Cynical attempts to trick the refs, as are often seen in things like sports or basketball, is very much not a thing, and I'm glad to say that that's the case.
And the AUDL is specific for men's and open ultimate. There's also the PUL, the Premier Ultimate League, which is a professional women's/non-binary league with a team based out of Austin, Austin Torch. And then there's also the WUL, the Western Ultimate League, which is another women's non-binary league over on the West Coast. So we also have some professional women's ultimate going on as well.
Now, I know early in the AUDL that was something that there were a lot of calls for, and so it's very good to hear that those have been able to come through. Because as is so often the case in many sports, is it's seen almost entirely through the lens of the men's experience of the game, trying to make sure that everyone benefits from the growing popularity of Ultimate Frisbee is an important part of it.
And as we was mentioned earlier, Ultimate is really unique in the way that there's also a mixed division, and that's what you're seeing right now, where we have players of all genders able to play on a team together and match up in different ways. It's a different game. It's played in, well, the field is the same, the disc is the same, however, strategy is really different when you're mixing genders on the field. There's different strategy behind it, really, but there is not, unfortunately, a professional league for mixed ultimate just yet.
Hopefully we'll get there. I think there's a combination both of the early days of it and that's stretching the numbers pretty thin, having male league, a women non-binary league, and then mixed leagues on top of that. So hopefully as the sport grows, we'll be able to have all of it together, much like we have on the club and even international level. Would say there has been occasional talk of it being introduced into the Olympics. It is recognized by the International Olympic Committee, even though it hasn't been inducted into the Olympics itself. And I don't know the extent to which it's been determined in terms of its recognition, but if it is ever included, I very much hope it is mixed, because that would bring an aspect to it that exists in very few other sports. You get mixed doubles in tennis, and I think a few others. Most others are effectively single or dual competition, but in terms of team sports, it adds something completely new, and I think that would bring introducing a fresh concept to the Olympics is certainly helpful. Something that a lot of people might actually be fun to discover and not know they wanted.
Yeah, and one of our actual very own, Octavia Payne, is going to be playing with the World Games team, which is the highest level that a player can reach in Ultimate. The World Games this year will be happening in Birmingham, Alabama. So if you can make your way out there, go catch some really awesome international.
That is absolutely recommended. Even just watching some highlights or ideas, the international aspect of Frisbee and the types of play you see from different countries is absolutely amazing. Some of the most incredible games I've ever seen in person were between different countries, because the styles were so different. To this day, I think the most amazing game I've ever seen is when Japanese women's team under 23 played the American team in a grueling and incredible game that the Japanese team ended up winning. Japan being a powerhouse of international frisbee. And it employed a strategy I've never seen before or since, and they used it to incredible effect. And that's the kind of thing that I would never been able to see just watching in the United States alone.
And we are back, our second half, starting back up. Lights out with the poles. They're starting off on defense. Sasha Vogel picking up the disc.
Starting from what appears to be the brick mark, got a vertical stack setup, cut starting from the back. Ooh, you can see that the defender is trying to poach into the lane, cut off an easy throw. Being dealt with well. Pause for a moment. Hopefully that's not any kind of serious issue. I think Moore just took a bit of a tumble. All right, got a quick breather for a moment, and then the game is back into play. The force is to the backhand side.
A big throw put up.
Contested catch. Lights out, comes out with it. Turnover for them, and now they can begin their offensive play. They're going to be needing plays like that for this to keep this game and their second game going. Ooh, unfortunate drop right on the sideline there.
So Dark has another chance to get the goal here.
Going straight up the line with a good throw and catch for the score.
Jay can't be guarded.
Showing off with some push-ups on the sidelines if you're not able to see that.
He said light work. Give me some more. All right, that's another goal for Dark. Now we're at 8-3.
I think that actually served as a good example. Right after Lights Out made that drop, Dark Matter was very quick to pick up the disc and go in the other direction. You see this in other sports like such as basketball, where capitalizing on a turnover and switching to the offense rapidly and immediately to capitalize on their lack of readiness to switch to a defensive mindset and score quickly is an incredibly good way to go if your team is up to it.
And Ultimate, we call that a fast break.
It's dusk is still starting to settle in a little bit. There's still
finally cooling down here.
Exactly. Little bit of wind, but it's quite weak at this point. More consistent with what you'd expect in Houston. And yeah.
That's the trash talk.
Oh my God, is it on?
I think
Like actively?
2 goals. Is trash talk working? Yep.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. I didn't know we had one with that.
Ooh. Seems we have a bit of a sideline microphone to try and catch all the trash talk and
All the
boasting and
trash talk.
celebration
Look at
on
that,
the
G!
sidelines.
That was it.
Oh,
Turnover on the centering pass with a D from Shani.
Dark Matter's in a strong position yet
Shani
again.
with bookends, and
Ooh.
that's a score for Dark. We are at 10, 9.
9-3. And yes, 9-4.
9-4.
Apologies. And yes, that is another example of Dark Matter capitalizing quickly on a turnover close to the opponent's end zone.
All right, Light, I'm gonna need y'all to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, they've got the height there. That's one aspect I think they might be able to take advantage of a little bit more that they haven't.
And we gotta still feel this wind. It is coming in.
Oh yes, picking up again quite quickly. All right, Dark Matters with the pull again. Wind is almost at a diagonal right now, but still going means that Lights Out will be going into the wind for the most part. So they'll have to be play it careful, keep their throws nice and even, and progress up the field carefully. Or who knows, maybe someone will be brave and be able to just huck it into the wind and have an incredible score. We've seen a few of those already, so let me not discount that possibility.
Pulls coming up from Seth Abdullah.
Oh, nice pull to the back of the end zone. And defense sprinting down the follow. That's a high pressure position to be in. Stuck in your own end zone. For those of you that aren't familiar, if your opponent catches the disc when thrown in their own end zone, it's a Callahan and an immediate score. But Lights Out has gotten out of it.
Goes up from Nate.
Great catch. Able to use that height like I was talking about, and a fantastic score. Good to see Light coming back into it.
Yep. We're at 9-5. Dark.
Well done to Lights Out. Now they have the opportunity for the break, which they will need to try and close that gap. And yes, either through pressure or if they get lucky and there's an unforced turnover, capitalize on that as much as they possibly can. Yes, and of course Lights Out has OP Pain on the line right now, so that's always something to strike fear into the hearts of the opponent.
You know, one thing, everyone always calls Opie Pain. And you know, Opie actually is like the O for Octavia and the P for Pain. So when we call Opie Pain, we're calling Opie Pain.
It's completely redundant, and I had no idea.
No, idea. Everyone does it. And so I just needed to drop in my 2 cents because we gotta figure this out.
Despite having heard that for years at this point, I had no idea that was the case. That was good. I guess I can shorten it. Just go by.
OP.
Just go OP going forward. I was always under the impression it was OPI kind of thing, exactly, than just an acronym.
It is. That's how it's spelled everywhere. And the reason that it came to be is because of the O of.
Oh, we had a
first
quick
name.
turnover by Dark Matters and a score by Lights Out, an immediate break to get them back into this game. That was fortunate on their part, unless there is
Looks
a
like
call.
there's a little discussion. Maybe out of bounds on the back.
Let's hope it's inbounds. Oh, determined to be out. Dark Matters with the disc from the front of their end zone. Now, it should be said that an ultimate frisbee, your feet have to be inside the line. On the line is considered out of bounds. We have a huck, long and fast. Too fast for anybody. Lights Out will get the disc.
Oh, no.
Ooh, we have someone hopping off the field.
Oh.
Hopefully we can get them help. That does not look comfortable.
Does not sound good. Maybe it's a cramp.
As someone who's had a fair few of those myself, it's as preferable to an unpleasant alternative. We shall see. Yeah, and that gives a bit of a pause, gives a bit of a breather. Lights Out will have the disc with their next attempts to close the gap. And yes, with the score currently at 9-6, I believe.
9-5.
9-5. That's only a few breaks from bringing it within a point or two. And open frisbee can often be a momentum-based game. And we saw in the first half where Dark Matter just had a few breaks straight in a row that can change the dynamic, and that can happen for either team at any time. So
It's all about
Kiki,
building
what
up that
happened?
confidence. Once you get that first break, it makes you feel like you can definitely go get that second.
You're improving
So
the
I do
shot.
have to ask, Jubzi, I was
making it
overwhelmingly a defensive player over the course of my career. What was your position? I was a defensive cutter, I should say specifically. And what was yours?
Depends, I think. On my college team, I definitely did a little bit of both. Wow, what a put.
Hard, fast throw, but a repeat of the Dark Matters throw, too fast for anybody, unfortunately.
However, I prefer offense. I'm definitely an offensive player at heart.
Absolutely. Ultimate Frisbee is the only sport I've ever played where I enjoy defense a lot.
I mean, there's nothing more satisfying than just shutting someone down on defense.
Absolutely.
However, just some like good offensive flow into an end zone, nothing quite like it.
Beautiful. So we have an error and a turnover by Dark Matters. Lights Out in a great position, not far from the front of their end zone. Looking for a cutter, bit of a risky throw. And it gets knocked out. There was double coverage with the defense there. Very difficult situation to be in. And just in general, when you're starting pressured on the line like that, it can make any quick throw upfield difficult. It narrows the area that your cutter can go into.
Especially with this wind, it really has to be the right throw in order to see success here.
Absolutely, the wind was pushing it both towards the back of the end zone and out of bounds in that situation. Oh, Dark Matter in a good position to flow up the field. We've got cutters running ahead. I think slowing down a little bit as the rest of the team catches up. Often a good decision, no need to rush it and make a risky throw unnecessarily. Trust your team, trust your teammates.
Yeah, Dark has been doing a great job of remaining patient. Oh.
That looks to be out the back of the end zone. A good throw, however, and a good cut. Just not quite enough space. Well, we have Lights Out with the disc now. They'll be at the front of their end zone. We have a vertical stack setup, 2 handlers. Second handler there to support in case there isn't an easy option upfield. Ooh, throw upfield to a cutter. The original handler cut deep upfield, but nothing as of yet. Turnover caught by the defense. Handlers moving it up the field quickly and gaining some free space before the defense can set. It seems like defense has set a little bit. There's pressure on the disc. And that is a catch in the end zone on a strike cut. And that brings us up to 10-5. Dark Matter killing it with their play, taking advantage of opportunities given to them, especially when they end up close to the end zone. That conversion is a big part of the game, and they seem to be doing it quite well today.
One of my favorite parts about being out here, specifically on our Con10ent Tour, is seeing all the different hairstyles out here. Seeing all the different ways that people choose to take care of their hair. I did get that. I was like, it's something really special to get to be around this kind of culture.
Absolutely. Well, I've been much more known for simple and conservative haircuts. My sister, who also played Frisbee for a long time, an excellent player named Corral Mosola, she's had sister locks for most of her life at this point. And just, yeah, the diversity of hairstyles among the black community that are fortunately becoming more and more accepted by wider society is a fantastic thing to see, because for so much of our history it's been looked down upon and discriminated against. So seeing that diversity and seeing it be celebrated and accepted is fantastic for everybody.
Yeah. Well, while here in Texas, I was reading through some of the news, and there was a story that came up April 29th.
We have a throw long to the end zone for Lights Out. Defenders seem to stumble over. No call on that, so it seems to be a fair play. And Lights Out gets the score to bring it closer, bring it to 10-6.
10-6?
Yes, as you were saying.
Oh yeah, I was looking at this news story, April 29th, 2022, about East Bernard School here in Texas, where there was a student who was not allowed to go to school with his braids. The high school dress code states that braided hair or cornrows will not be allowed. No extreme styles, as they say. So here in Texas, we've seen a case of, unfortunately, black kids not being able to just wear their hair how it's grown.
Yes. Certainly is a personal pet peeve of mine, all the soft and euphemistic language which is ultimately designed to be explicitly discriminatory is very frustrating in the kinds of ways that they rationalize these kinds of decisions. So yes, and whenever it shows up in any form, the reasons they give only give lip service to the concept of fairness.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see more pushing of the Crown Act, which is creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. It was first passed in California in 2019, and many states in the U.S. have adopted this act to make sure that you can't discriminate against folks for their hair. Hopefully we'll see that become more common.
All right. Pull goes out of bounds, so that'll be taken to brick mark. Brick mark being a designated point in the field about 15 yards from the front of the end zone. It's effectively to punish throwing the disc out of bounds by giving the offensive team a good starting position right in the middle. They can't be pressured on the sideline or things like that, giving them the most opportunity to throw the disc forward, backwards, or to the side. Ishmael will be starting with the disc at the break mark. Vertical stack setup, and cuts coming in. Cut
I hope
to the
y'all know
far
AD
side,
down bad.
that was coming towards
He real upset
the
about
disc.
this.
Ooh,
This is hurting
Disc goes
his whole
down.
college career.
So this is another opportunity for lights out. Opie Payne starting with the disc. Sorry. Ooh, disc thrown to
Opie
the
with
end
a big
zone.
throw.
Looks like we have a good opportunity and a good catch. Under pressure. In or out of bounds. In bounds. Accepted. Fantastic.
There we go, and it is now 10-7. Dark.
Ah, that shift. I can feel it happening.
It's that momentum. It's coming.
Confidence building plays right there.
It's always exciting to see a good comeback.
Absolutely. Everyone's favorite story in sports. Yeah. The underdog recovering and then taking it all the way. So honestly, it's hard to say with the quality of players on both teams that there is any underdog. But yes, let's hopefully bring this to a closer and closer conclusion. The ultimate dream, of course, being that it does get forced to be a win by 2, which is where the pressure always is. And as a player, it is nerve-wracking and intense when you're at the end of the game with those close margins where every play can make the difference. So hopefully we'll be able to see that, but regardless, we're being treated to quality ultimate, good throws, nice defensive plays, and good sportsmanship, as always. All right, we have lights out, throwing the disc, with going for the pull. Dark Matters ready to start on offense. And a bit of a wind picking up, but hopefully nothing too bad, just a quick gust. Very inside bladed pull, but goes out of bounds. This being an example of if you throw it out of bounds further forward than the brick mark, sometimes they can choose to take it from the sideline or go to the brick mark itself. In this case, it's being taken to the brick mark for that good position in the middle of the field. Pressure.
Oh.
A fantastic catch along the sideline. Oh, but the next throw goes to the ground. Unfortunate. Lights out with the opportunity to continue their run of form. Nice movement up the sideline, up the far side. Another drop
close.
catch, unfortunately.
AJ Beard with a big throw to Jalen, but a D by Colton Green.
Fantastic. Using a bit of speed and definitely that height and long reach to get to the disc there. Something I could have used a little bit more throughout my career, but I can't complain too much. Progression up the field. Ooh, we got a high bladed
Throw goes up.
Perfect
AD
contest for a
Seth.
jump. Oh, good defensive
Seth brings
play.
that down.
Throw up. Ooh, behind
Seth
the
looking to
player.
move around the kind of poachy stuff happening in the lane. But unfortunately, it's a turn. And Light has another chance to score here.
Plays like that can often seem like just a mistake, but often they come about as a consequence of pressure defense forcing a bad throw. That was a bit of a difficult inside break throw to make, and it led to a turnover. Just progressing up the field, throw coming to the end zone, and caught. Point for Dark Matters.
Another score by Daryl Wells. Can't be stopped. It's now 11-7 Dark.
That neon headband gives him superpowers of some kind. Who knows?
It's a good color.
Yes, it should be commented on again, the diversity, not just of players, but their backgrounds and places of origin. We have a very representative group. We've got Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, multiple cities in Texas like Dallas and Houston, Atlanta, Georgia, Oakland, California. We've got Kingston, Jamaica represented, so even going to the international level. Players from all over coming together to play the game. Quick side note, I have been to Jamaica. It is absolutely wonderful. Highly recommended tourist destination and not a long trip, especially from a place like here.
A pull from Dark, landing out of bounds, being centered by HB.
Disc is tapped in to begin. Quick dunk to OP. Right back. Oh, a nice catch. Attempted D, almost got there, but not quite close enough.
Light is really using the whole width of the field on this point.
Something every coach is happy to see and will drill in. Use the width, swing it side to side. It opens up throw opportunities that otherwise might not be there if you stay stuck on one lane of the field effectively.
Opie is just moving.
Cutting back and forth, a nightmare for a defender. Oh, the
HB
flow of the
and
disc is
OB
beautiful. Moving right
it.
towards the end zone. Can they finish the point off? Oh, and OP does it. That's the point. Fantastic. Lights out. Taking it forward. Oh, wait. Is there some type of discussion?
Nope.
Can't quite see tell what's happening.
Looks like there may have been a call. I can't tell if it was involved with the play or not, though.
Seems like the play is being taken back. I'm not quite certain what the call is, but often that'll be how it's handled.
Looks like there was a travel called on HB.
So yes, you're certainly not allowed to be moving as you throw, and within a few steps of having caught the disc, you need to stop and plant a pivot foot like you do in basketball in many ways. All right. Throw up the sideline, and then drop back to the defender. Here we are using the width of the field again, spreading it.
OB and HB
Slow
really
progression to the end zone. Patient
quarterbacking
play,
back
which I love
there.
to see. No forced or rushed decision making. Ooh, we have a nice throw to the end zone. Joe in with the catch. Oh no, he's right on the front. Not quite in yet. Looking for a bit of a cheeky throw to get it in. Don't force it. And that is
OP with
caught
the
for the
score.
point. Lights out with another score.
So it's 11-8.
All right. On the whole, they are closing that gap. One little break at a time.
That was a lot of great movement there from Light, from HB and OB.
That
Using the whole width of the field there.
it's also a good example of the rotation of handlers, where they'll swing it to each other, then clear out and run way to behind to give another opportunity to receive the disc while not cutting off cutters coming up from further down the field.
Yeah.
And when done well, it can just lead to them patiently moving the disc until a good opportunity presents itself rather than trying to force something that's risky or invites a good play from the defense. I'm always a fan of those risky upfield throws as a defender. Always a good opportunity for a layout or a catch. So yeah, seeing it done well like that makes it a nightmare for defenders because it means more running, more difficult closing, and yeah, more opportunities for them. Well, we have lights out, getting ready to pull the disc. Dark Matters to receive. They seem to be in a little bit of discussion about what they want to do. but all right, looking like they're ready to go. Ooh, this is a nice pull. Seems to be coming back into the field. Oh, not quite, not quite. I do have to say, one of the more exciting things that got me into the sport is how different the flight of a disc is through the air as opposed to a ball, which is certainly what almost all other major sports use. And that aspect of it floating and blading and dipping adds a lot of excitement and dynamism, and I think it allows for a more creativity in the types of throws that are possible.
It requires a lot of technical skills from players to be able to understand the way the wind is moving at any point and be able to get a disc where they want it to go, because it doesn't fly the same way.
Got a bladed disc to the, oh, he tried to sky his own teammate. Oh no. That's a little bit of a poor communication. Yes. All right, Dark Matter is starting the disc quickly. Ooh, almost got there with a defensive play, but Dark Matters retains the disc right at the sideline. Might be a bit of a discussion about whether or not it's in bounds.
All right, it's called in. Jay can't be guarded with the disc. Back to AJ.
Ooh,
To Shani.
nice throw through
To
the middle
Sasha.
there.
Back to Shani. AJ
Now,
getting
the
open.
stall in a game like this is 2:10, and for the most part, we really haven't seen things go that far. On the field with the disc, 10 seconds is actually quite a bit of time, allowing for lots of opportunities to throw to different players before you run out. War play, they're rotating around the center of the field, handlers throwing amongst each other, waiting for a good opportunity. Playing it smart, playing it safe.
AJ open to Sasha.
Ooh, we've got a bladed throw into the end zone. Oh, beautiful placement, great cut. That's textbook.
Another goal by Jordan Green. And that brings us to 12-8
Oh yes, that is a classic example of very good execution in front of the end zone. Especially with perhaps newer or more excitable players, the inclination is to try and punch it in and get that throw in as fast as possible. But that last throw is the most important to score, so patience is absolutely the way to go most of the time. So I do want to comment, that was a bit of a comedic turnover there with lights out. One player trying to sky their own teammate because they weren't quite sure how close they were.
And that's the way Ultimate works, you know? You get so close, and just like that, the other team has scored a goal.
Well, I do have to say I've not really been able to tell any significant tiring of the players, at least not noticeably, so good standard of fitness all around, you would seem. I guess maybe a little bit of tiredness leading into them playing slower and more conservatively, which I think is probably a good idea anyways, but no, got a good crop of young players who are ready to run hard.
Yeah, I know a lot of these players are probably gearing up for their club seasons, their pro season, so they got to be maintaining that level of fitness. You know, there's a lot of frisbee going on this weekend. We have a lot of college regionals going on. We have some PUL games, AUDL games, some WUL games. So it is a frisbee full weekend.
All right, we have a turnover by Lights Out. Dark Matters with the disc. They immediately move it up the sideline. Solid mark there. Not an easy throw.
Ooh,
Gets it out though.
Cheeky around from Maple.
All right, another throw right into the front of the end zone. Is it not clear? Is it called in or out? All right, right on the line. High pressure now. Lights Out really will want to make this play. Dark Matters gets it in with a lofted throw over the defender's head.
Another one.
Very cheeky.
Daryl Wells.
He is having a standout game, it has to be said. Offense and defense, he's been laying some impressive plays and some hard running. Well, there have not been any timeouts utilized in this second half. It's entirely possible that they're being saved for close to the end of the game, so they can take the opportunity once they're more tired to take a breather after a turnover and set up perhaps a designed play when the opportunity presents itself. It's not something we've seen too much of, but is often incorporated a lot into team play, is set plays specifically in places like the end zone or when they first receive the disc off a pull. Dark Matter is set up, waiting for the rest of the lights out team members to gather on the line before the pull is released. We'll see here. With the cooler temperatures, it does, I think, allow for more intense running. I certainly know. Running those hard sprints in the Austin heat when I was playing there were a bit nightmarish. So I always appreciated the opportunity. Those later in the day games.
Yeah, we have some people here with us in Houston who came from places where it was snowing yesterday, actually. So it was quite the difference in expected climate.
Yes, I went to college in Ohio, and the first couple days after I would come back after the end of the school year, it would take some acclimation because the heat and humidity does take a toll on the body, and a noticeable one.
And it's really, I think, the humidity part that drives it.
Ooh, throw up field, heavily contested. Oh, Dark Matters gets the disc, number 9, with a quick swing. Progression up the
Big
field.
catch from Shanique
Very close to the
Crawford.
end zone. Oh, fantastic D.
Scuba attempt denied
Incredible hype.
by Saw Baker.
That throw, the scuba, gives a perfect example of one of the things that makes throwing frisbees so interesting, because you can throw them not just normally but upside down, and it radically changes the flight and movement of the disc. Scuba being one kind and a hammer being another. I don't believe we've seen a hammer today. Ooh, we just had a throw out of bounds. Disc goes back to Dark Matters right on the sideline.
Ball. Another good catch by Shanique with some time.
Ooh.
She's looking. Found Cynthia down the field.
Oh, slipped through the fingers right there. I think the teammates might have been getting a little too close to each other.
The disc is back in the hands of Light.
A nice low release throw, moving it up the field. A dump back to the handlers, and a swing. All right, lots of close, tight throws. And
Jalen with a great catch.
well, now is an opportunity to run into more space. As people go downfield. All right.
Saw with a catch up the line. Looking for a score for Lights.
A
out.
cheeky dump throw right up the line into the corner of the end zone.
Get
Well
back up
done
on
for the
board.
score.
We are at 13-9 Dark.
So we are approaching that end of the game, 15 points. So Lights Out is going to be starting on defense right now. Now is the time to bust out those big defensive plays, take advantage of any turnovers. Breaks are going to be critical to staying in the game.
It's time for Light to turn up that defensive intensity and then bring a little bit of calm when it comes to playing that offense.
All right. Lights Out just organizing their 6 on the field before the point begins. All right, disc raised is the indication that they're waiting to for the defensive team to signal that they're ready.
A big pull from Nate Little.
Oh, a great one right towards the back of the end zone.
And Light in no
This is the kind of pressure,
way.
pressure defense we want to see right now.
Yeah.
They want to be able to get a break.
letting off that first throw. They're making it as hard as they can.
Ooh. Oh, a fantastic catch right outside the end zone.
To AJ Beard.
Still good
It's
movement.
up.
Oh, got a long throw. Looks like that's going straight down.
Caught by AD.
Ooh, the wind is gusting. They're going to be careful with throws. Probably a good idea to favor short throws at the moment and not make any needless mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, right at the fingertips. Another good play by Daryl.
Yep,
Oh, man.
hearing Daryl's name again, but this time instead of a goal, he just got a really great block. Right on the goal line when Light was about to score.
Ooh, high throw, nice catch.
Maple really showing out
Yeah, a
here.
couple snags right there.
This is her game.
Oh, fantastic.
what a
Towing the
grab
line,
by
keeping it in
Maple.
bounds. That is beautiful.
Someone came to play.
Ooh, she's in a tight spot, though. Difficult position.
Bailout
Oh,
throw,
Daryl.
Caught by Daryl, of course.
Oh.
And OB with a
Wow.
block.
Seeing the hunger in the plays. We've got dives. We've got people towing the line out of bounds. Things escalating as we get closer to the end of the game. Hopefully,
Oh,
everyone's
looks like it was
all
a foul, no contest, so this is going to stay with AJ. Right outside the end zone for Dark.
Ooh, all right, what's the decision we made? Into the end zone or choose a safer dump throw? Right into the end zone.
And
That's
there
a
is
score.
Goal for Dark.
All right, Dark Matter continuing their dominant run of form. Lights Out has been was able to slowly close the gap, but they've never really been able to catch up completely.
Yeah. Dark is at 14, which means that this is technically game point. So if Dark scores here, that will be the end of the game. However, if Light scores, they'll keep going unless Dark gets to 15 first.
Now,
So this is going to be a really important offensive point for Light.
yes, and
They gotta
fortunately the wind has died down, but that's still slightly going against them. Got a slight just breeze pickup right there.
Yep.
Let's say we have had a variety of good plays. I think we've seen the transition where first half was much more of a big throws, long throws to the end zone, and we've had much more deliberate, small, short play in this second half. Both fantastic styles that are exciting to watch. Okay. Now, Dark Matter seems to be deciding their matchups. Very common to do on the offensive side is right before pulling the disc, everybody decides who they're going to be marking one-on-one on the far side of the field. There are zone formations in Frisbee used often, but they're not nearly as common as man defense.
Wow, that pole was hanging in the air for a while.
And came just back in bounds.
Gave
Oh,
Dark the time to really set up their defense.
Okay.
Now,
Ooh, pressure is close. Defense is doing a good job. Oh, we got an opportunity for a long throw, but decides to play it safe. Nice. Oh, that's a good movement up the field. We got another opportunity for the score. A little bit of a a fantastic
what a
catch!
grab.
I almost thought he missed it, but he covered fantastically. The diving catch on the back edge of the Frisbee.
Yep.
Never easy.
And that's what it looks like when it's game point for the other team and you need to secure the bag.
Holding his hip a bit there, probably a bit of hard hitting on the ground, but I'm sure he'd be glad to do it again.
Yep. So with that, it's 14-10. Dark will be receiving the disc this point, which gives them a little bit of an advantage because hopefully all they get to do is just march the disc right down the field.
No mistakes and avoid the defenders. It really does put the pressure on Lights Out to make a big defensive play because Dark Matters has been playing well enough to suggest that they can't rely on an unforced error. Well, we should see. This is the time to bust out your best defensive players, do the most ideal matchups. Scenario I've experienced many a time, and leads to a lot of tough decisions.
Yeah, it's super exciting being out here at this game where most of these players have not played with each other before. So for them to come out here and give us such a great game when it's their first time playing together, something magical.
And that is a real testament to the skill, that adaptability to accommodate and learn to work with players that you've only just met. I know pickup is a huge part of Ultimate Frisbee, and I think something that everyone has to learn on some extent when they learn to play the sport.
Right. And there is a huge pull by Nate, which will be walked to the front of the end zone by Shani, unless it landed out of bounds. All right, looks like the pole landed out of bounds, so Shani will be bringing the disc up to the brick mark.
All right, so Dark Matter starting with a decent position. It's on them to score and win the game, or give Lights Out an opportunity to get back into it. Ooh, set up for a long throw to the end zone. Too much, too fast. That gives Lights Out the opportunity. Let's see what they can do with it.
Hopefully Light will just be able to do what they did last point, march the disc up the field, really patient and calm offense.
Oh, exciting stuff. This is what we're hoping for. I am definitely down to watch a few more points of this game. See this exciting, fast-paced movement, hard cutting, and hopefully another layout or two. You never know.
Colton Green with the disc. Opie with an under. Sam with an under.
Ooh, throw into the
unfortunate
ground,
error.
unfortunately. Yes.
All right, Light just needs to get another D, and hopefully they'll be able to march it up for another score.
Ooh, almost blocked. But a good catch by the offensive player. Got a swing across the field. Not an easy option presenting itself. Good defense. Okay, right on the line. Very close to the front of the end zone. Take advantage. Can anyone make the play? Oh, fantastic. See if there's a call.
No way.
I think they're calling a strip, saying that the defender pulled it out of the offender's hand when he already had it around the disc. Sometimes a difficult call to demonstrate truly, but we'll see. Seems like it's inconclusive, so they're going to send the disc back to repeat the play. That's often the outcome when it's not clearly agreed upon by both sides what's really happened. Oh, a great
and there's
defensive play by Joe, keeping Lights Out in the game.
Wow.
Ooh, a
And
violent
there is
hand block.
A hand block.
Stuffing the disc out of bounds. That is a great play. All right.
And that's number 77, Destin Tate, with that huge hand block.
Dark Matters with a couple swings. Not many upfield opportunities as of yet. We've got a long throw. Contested offense and defense. Fantastic D. That kind of body-to-body pressure is exactly what you need to stop those plays.
I think that's a great show of mutually agreed upon physicality when it comes to the game of Ultimate.
Part of the self-officiating aspect is players understanding and accommodating a certain level of physical contact, but being able to recognize when it goes too far. We've got a long throw
Sam
forward by the
chasing it
Lights
down.
Out. Oh, fantastic position. Just needs support. OP right there, right in front of the end zone, and into
And
for the
there's a
score.
goal for Light.
Oof, there was some back and forth there, some missed throws, a fantastic hand block, but Lights Out ends up with the point, keeping the game alive.
They said they're not ready for it to be over.
No, the lights aren't out yet. So Lights Out presumably getting ready for the next point. Subs being exchanged, get fresh legs on the field. And yes, Lights Out preparing for another attempt at a break. That's the only option they have left. It's break or go home. Dark Matter's a little bit more with the wind at this point, so that's something to take advantage of. Often that can be something that's utilized for the longer throw. If the the receiver can get some separation. So we'll see if they take advantage of that. But honestly, this late in the game, no unnecessary risks is really the way to go. Let's see. I'm also glad to say with the discussions about calls, all of them have gone very quickly and smoothly. I know certain times, certainly with a more competitive club and other things like that, arguments can become more protracted, but it's been very friendly and non-disputed today, which is always nice. Players facilitating the game and making it the focus as opposed to anything else.
Yeah.
All right, lights out, getting ready for the pull. Let's see if they can keep the dream alive.
Looks like we're going to be getting another flick pull here.
Something I would say is a bit too risky, but we might be pulling it off.
Inbounds, which is
Just
really what they need to look for here. They don't want to let Dark get that field position in the middle. Oh, well,
No.
it is
Got the
center.
swing right off the line, but all of them are tight to their defenders.
Maple with a big under.
Got a big
No
throw.
surprise there.
Undefended.
And
Is that
Jay
inbounds?
can't
That looks
be
like game.
guarded.
Cramping right at the end. Is it inbounds or not? It is not clear at the moment. And it seems like it is. That's Dark Matters with the victory. Catch at the back of the end zone to finish it off. Final score being 15-11. Great competition all around. Some exciting defensive plays, long throws to both sides into the wind and with the wind. So got to see all range of the sports and of course the mixed aspect, adding that other element of spice, different throws, different dynamics, things you wouldn't see otherwise.
What a fantastic game. Being able to see all of these players out here showcasing what they can do with players they've never played with before, right?
And this is the kind of quality that can be hoped for the Con10ent Tour overall. It's going to be a lot more exciting play at future stops along the way.
One thing that I've really enjoyed about being able to participate in these stops is just the immediate feeling of community when we get here. There really isn't anything like it. And we're just all so fortunate to be able to be a part of this super awesome thing. All started and driven, really, by Shani Crawford.
Yeah. I know there's been certain points at different tournaments or events where it's actually ended up where the teams will celebrate together, even though it was a hard-fought victory for one or the other. In the end, the real goal is to enjoy the competition, enjoy the game itself, and leave happy either way.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you did, and you're feeling inspired to throw your shoulders into the Con10ent support pile, please, please, please feel free to donate to Disc.Diversity. All of that money goes to things like this, like the Con10ent Tour, and give Disc.Diversity a follow. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, keep up with it. This is just the beginning. There are going to be 2 other stops coming up. There will be a game in Colorado on Saturday, May 21st. Both player and volunteer applications are open for Denver. There's also going to be a game in Tampa Bay. So look for that player application as well. All black players are welcome. Please, please, please apply. Contact people you know and get them to apply.
Let
We are
anybody you
looking
know.
to increase the number of people out here every chance that we get.
No. That is the ending of a fantastic game. We can see the teams joining together, as so often happens, celebrating the great time that they've had. Thank you all for watching and joining, and that is going to be a good night from Lucky and Choopsy.
Yeah. Sweet. Hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did. And please don't forget to Support Disc.Diversity, support transgender youth in the state of Texas and all over the country. Let's do our part in making this world a better place.
Hell yeah, and let's keep Ultimate Frisbee going. It's been fantastic so far, and it's only getting bigger with every year. Thank you.